right, so update. Now we're at the airport and we have to get the test, as I told you, before 4 o'clock. We get here at 3:30. We go down there. You know, you can see there's nobody here where they normally are. There's nobody at the door where they normally are. But then they make us come all the way back here out in the hot sun and tell us that we have to queue up. They made us take our bags back. They wouldn't let us keep the bags in there. We've got to come out here and stand in the sun and wait to get in the airport. Now the fabulous news is we must leave our bags out to go in to take the test. Fortunately, my good friend's here to watch our luggage, but I think we're all concluding that this is not a place to come back to. We just got to get home. So here we are in the airport. We've taken our test. Of course, it's come back negative. We obviously have not contracted COVID in 24 hours. And they're not willing to give us a receipt for the $7,500 that we had to pay to get the test. So, okay, family, here's the update. We got here 2 hours ago. And during that 2 hours, we took the COVID test, during which time they would not give us a receipt. Instead, they wanted to explain to us how they were doing us a favor because normally we should have to go to the stadium or turntable and take the test and wait for tomorrow and get it back then and spend another night somewhere and travel tomorrow. And I said, thank you. We understand that you're doing us a favor, but I'm asking for a receipt for the $2,500 because you're telling us that Brussels Airline is going to reimburse us when we get to Brussels, which, by the way, I won't be surprised if they don't. And I'm from the West. People reimburse you when you have a receipt. People who took their test yesterday don't need to upgrade. People who took their test Thursday because they want to operate in a business-like manner and have things processed in a timely fashion are the only ones who upgraded. How is the airport in Brussels going to know, or the airline officials in Brussels, going to distinguish between those of us who paid and those of us who didn't to know who to reimburse? I will not be surprised in Brussels if we have a difficulty getting our money back, because these people have taken our money and absolutely refuse. I've asked 3 or 4 people, gone in, had a consult. They absolutely refuse to give us a receipt of any nature. And at this point, we are so effing fed up that we're like, just give us our negative test, let us get the hell out of this country. And I'm sorry, people. They're not going to see me for a hell of a long time. I will go other places on the continent, but I can't come back here. This is chaos to the nth degree. It never ends. At every turn, at every step, there is chaos. Whenever there is something that you could have done in a systematic fashion to operate as normal, professional business people do, they have managed to turn it into a fiasco. But I guess the question was just if we could get a receipt so that we can get our money back when we get to Brussels. We appreciate the favor.
They don't give receipt here because that's what he's saying. This is an unforeseen circumstance. So they don't have receipt for it here. That's it. You understand?
They can't just write something. We received $7,500. Thank you. They don't have to put their name. All that. So I just kindly pointed out that a favor typically doesn't involve compensation. You're not doing us a favor. We're not giving you this money because we just want to thank you for what you've done. You're demanding that we pay you $2,500 a piece in order to update these COVID tests. But you know what? We're sick of the Gambia right now. And I just said, I don't care. Give me my paper showing my negative test and let me out of here. You can have the money. I don't know what you're going to do with it. I don't care. Just take it. You can have it. So we get the COVID test done. And while we were in there getting the test, I said, are we going to have to go back and stand out in that hot sun again? No, The airline starts opening at 4. You can come back here. It's 8 minutes to 4 now. You can come back. You can go get your bags and come back and check in. Okay? So we get the test. We get the updated results. We go out to get our bags and come back in. And they tell us, no, you can't come in. You have to stand out here until such time as the airport personnel come to us and tell us that it's time to check in. Well, can we queue over there in the shade instead of right out here in the sun? No. This is the airline policy. It's the airline policy for the Banjul airport personnel to make us queue out in the hot baking sun when you have a covered area over there and the interior of the airport is practically empty and we could queue there. We just let it go. We have a friend. Now, I've got to say, my Gambian friends are the bomb. My Gambian friend arranged for somebody to come to that hotel and pick us up and bring us here so that we don't have to get shafted by the hotel clerk and pay somebody 1,500 dalasi when we're trying to hang on to 7,500 dalasi to pay for yet another COVID test, okay? My Gambian friend said, Kim, you go in there. You and your children go in there and get your test, and I'll wait out here with your bags. My Gambian friend said, Kim, you guys go in there and sit under the shade. I'll just wait out here with your bags. All right, and so we got the test. We've gone outside. They're attempting to make us stand in line. My friend says, I'll watch the bags. You go inside. So we were to go under the shade, but we decided just to come in and grab a seat on one of these concrete pillars here. And so we get inside, we're sitting, we're waiting. Finally, the airline personnel come up to us and say, all right, go get your bags. It's time to check in. So we go back outside and we get our bags. And the airport personnel at the gate say to us, no, you can't go in. I'm like, they told us to come and check in. No, they must come tell us, and then you can go in. So there's a guy, one of the porters, we weren't using a porter today, but there's a porter who stood there and talked to us the whole time and walked out there to where the bags are with us. And I pointed to him and I said, you tell them. They told us to come get our bags, right? And he told them, and they were just arguing, and I'm like, wow, here we go with some more non-working processes in the Gambia. So we stand out there. Finally, the airline personnel come out there and tell them that we should check in, and he apologizes to me and says, I'm sorry, I was supposed to come tell them first. All right, so we come in. Here's the procedure. They've got scales outside the airport, so they weigh your bags outside the airport. Then you go through the passport line and show your passport and your COVID test and we didn't have airline tickets, but they gave us a printout yesterday of what our flight information was for today. So you show them that. Then once you get to that, you go to the Brussels airline area and you check in again with your passport and your COVID test. And then you have to put each of your bags up on there, and I'm sweating, it's so hot at this airport. But you have to go and put each of your bags, so our 6 bags, 2 each, up on the trolley so that she could tag them. I have to say that the people at the airport, at the airline today, unlike yesterday, were very nice and accommodating and kind. So she does that, right? Then you must go through security. The last time I went through security, I got my bags wrapped, and they said to me, why didn't you tell me you were going to get your bags wrapped? So this time I said, we're going to get our bags wrapped. They said, okay, put your suitcases up here. So we put all these 6 hard-sided suitcases up there. They scanned them. There's another scale. And I'm like, you've already weighed our bags. I said they weighed them out there. They weighed them again and made some notes. So we go over and we get our bags wrapped. We pay them 1,200 dalasi. Then we're ready to go give our bags to the airline personnel. Guess what, family? You must go back and get all those 6 bags scanned again because you left the security area. If you're going to scan the bags after we wrap them, call me crazy. Why do we not get them wrapped first, then you scan the bags? Then if you must weigh them again, you weigh the bags. Because what? After they scan them for the second time, you gotta go back to that scale and get your bags weighed again. And then after that, you've got to go over to a desk, back up where the airlines is, and get 2 papers, which I know we're never going to use because they're asking us where we're intending to stay in Brussels, and we're not staying. We're passing through. They had me fill out this form before. I know for a fact that we're not going to use them, but hey, I just want to get out of here. So we filled out the form. There's another form that we fill out. Then we go get in line, we show our passport again, we take a picture. They want to know why we're not smiling. We're not stupid. That's why we're not smiling, because you're making us do the same things over and over and over and over and over and over again. You have no processes in place. You have no systems. There's chaos. Nothing makes sense. You're robbing us of $7,500 and don't want to give it to Delasi and don't want to give us a receipt. This is chaos. We're not coming back. My kids have confirmed. They're just not interested. It's just a nightmare. All right, so then we show them our passport again, show them our COVID test again, show them our boarding pass, take the picture. They tell us we can go into the security area, put our bags in there. We're coming through. The same pain in the A guy from out front who wouldn't let us come and check in when they told us to says, I've seen their passport, and we all laugh because it's ridiculous. And then we walk in here, and now we're waiting in here where you get to get a plate of chips that costs $100 out of here, 100 Delasi. You get to get that for $300 here. You get to get a burger and chips for $500 Delasi here. I'm really not gonna go in on them for that because every airport is overpriced. So, you know, if you have to eat at the airport, you're gonna have some problems. But we needed to get here to get that COVID test done. Oh, and guess what? When we were having the COVID test, I said, the young man told us we needed to be here before 4 in order to get this test. He said, no, that's not true. We're gonna be here the whole time. So guess what? I gave my friends a ride, $500 for petrol for bringing us here. I'm not expecting them to do this for free, even though we just paid you yesterday, but okay. And so that means what? We could have taken the shuttle with our bags, gotten our test while we were here, and done all this nonsense then. That would have been 5:30. Because it took us an entire 2 hours. My son looked at his phone and said, what time did we get here? And I told him, and it was 2 hours later when we were standing there waiting to go through immigration with our passport and to go through the security area for our bodies and our carry-on luggage. 2 hours. If we had come at 5:30, I was planning to get here at 5. Then when they said the shuttle's at 5:30, I was like, okay, fine. We would have gotten here around 6:30. Actually, I don't know how that would have worked. I don't care. We've got everything we need. We are all willing to gladly sit here for 3 or 4 or however many hours to get out of here, to go back to America. And so right now, we just sit here, we eat this food, and we just wait for the plane. God willing, we just go back to America. And I can't say when I'll ever see the Gambia again. It's just too much. And I'm going to say this again because this is going to be a harsh video. And I've really never posted anything of a negative nature, though I will about these COVID tests, the ones which you do out in the town, because there's a problem there too. But as done as I am with the country, And as much as I don't intend to come back, and maybe it's for a reason, maybe I don't need to come back. Maybe I settled on this country too quickly and there's another country that would be more suitable for me. So I need to explore and find something that's going to work for me. And, you know, because it has been my experience that pretty much things work out for me. So if I have had this experience, it has given me the feeling that I should not come back here. It's for the best. There's somewhere else on this continent that's going to be better for me, because what I have not done is give up on Africa. I'm an African in America, and America does not know how to value us. And I am determined to be somewhere where I am valued. And I think that that's going to be on the continent. Although I must say I may explore some Caribbean countries to see if maybe I'll move there. I would prefer to move to the continent. But what has to happen is I have to be in a place that makes sense. And I don't expect Africa to be America, and I don't expect the Caribbean to be America, because if I wanted to stay in America, I know how to live in America. I understand there will be snafus and different procedures and different ways of doing things. But what I don't want is utter, total, complete chaos, insanity, over complexity for very simple processes. It is very simple to move the wrapping, for example, for one of the things that we've experienced. Move the wrapping to the security area. And once they scan your bags and weigh them, you get them wrapped. Or if you need to have the wrapping before they're weighed, scan them, wrap them. We're all in the area. Put them out of here. Just figure out something. It's not funny. And then don't keep saying to us, please come back. Why aren't you smiling? We're not coming back. We're not smiling because you people are acting like you're crazy. And the reality is you're Africans and you're better than this. And you can do better than this. And you can be better than this. And you can give visitors a better experience than this. And you can leave them dying to come back. Because despite all the development and everything in the U.S., it is not a positive environment for us. And the reason we come here is because we're looking for an alternative. But we're not going to come to a hellhole where we're just going to be ripped off, which I'll talk about that too, and treated to just, nobody is, well, a little bit they're rude, some of them. But for the most part, the people